Good day to you. It is Thursday, April 9th, 2026. A mere 73 days from the beginning of summer, in this hemisphere anyway. And we enjoyed 34 degrees overnight, I think. Still freezing. So the peak goes on, but it looks like in a few days it's going to be in the 70s and 80s, and I don't think it's looking back after that. I have a feeling. But, I've had that multiple times this year. But that's right. It is the middle of April, and it's cold. And I am really over it. I guess today's going to be 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're out of the cold, although overnight it's going to be 38. So a little above freezing, and then it just looks like that's it. By Monday it's 76, 79, 80, 76. So you can look forward to me complaining about it being too hot now. All right, that'll be very exciting. All right, now to the trivia, the news, the information, the data that you didn't know you couldn't live without. On this day in 1105, just a few years ago, Great Britain's King Henry I was reprimanded in church for his long hair. If only that was the biggest problem we have now with our kings. What else? Let's see. In this day in 1682, explorer LaSalle claimed the Mississippi Basin for France, calling it Louisiana. And finally, Jumbo, the circus elephant, arrived in the United States on this day in 1882. And now you've been made whole and been taken places that no AI tool could possibly take you. So let's see what's been going on. So as you know, I've been very spotty these days, but I just keep getting back on the horse with the daily musings. And the reason why it's been spotty is just because there's just been so much. So yesterday I went to a networking event in Manhattan at near Grand Central Station. It started at about I got there at before 7:30 a.m. So you can imagine what time we were up and out. And on the way, it was a very cold morning, but I refused to overdress, so I was cold. But anyway, I got there, and instantly, I'm a huge extrovert. Anyone who's listening to this who knows me personally, you've never met a bigger extrovert than me. But every time I go into one of these, I just have this moment where I'm like downstairs or I'm outside of the event. I haven't entered the space of this thing. And I'm kind of going, ugh, okay. What do you call that? It's like when you start from a dead start, It's like, and once you get going, it's kind of like going to the gym when you're like, I don't want to go to the gym. And then you get in the gym and you're great. And in fact, it's better than great. But the starting from cold, the cold start, it can feel just, okay, I don't know who these people are, and do I even belong? And ultimately, that's almost always the case. It's like the real question underneath it is this a group that I belong to? Am I going to feel excluded already? I mean, I'm not a member of the group yet. But I got there, and the people that had invited me weren't there yet. So I just went up to the coffee, and I started talking to the guy at the coffee, and he was so friendly, and later on learned that he didn't disclose that when I met him, of course, that he had lost his father a few weeks prior and was still really grappling with that. He gave no indication of that when I talked to him, but he got emotional later in the meeting sharing that, and it just reminded me of a couple things, which is that we connect on a human level. It just doesn't matter. Different professions, different backgrounds, different personalities. Our opportunity to connect is on that human level. And of course, that's why we talk about the weather when we meet people. We talk about the traffic, the stuff that we're all experiencing. But the sooner we can get to at least one notch deeper, the more opportunity there is to feel not just familiarity, but affinity for somebody. And And I mean, I went from that conversation to another one, to another one. The woman who runs the event, turns out she was like the number 2 employee at WeWork years ago. Just an amazing person. She's got an incredible personality and does a great job running a meeting. And I got to tell you, I never felt more welcomed and more a part of something that I didn't belong to technically than I did yesterday morning. And so another good reminder, of, you just, the feelings, guys, like, okay, the resistance, the kind of like, oh God, I mean, I got all the way there and I was like, oh, I didn't want to go up there. And I did, of course, because that's what we do. And that's really the name of the game. We don't worry. The feelings are just the feelings. And then you just do it anyway. And it works out pretty darn well. In fact, the head of that group, when I announced myself, I think I did a fairly dynamic and interesting job. And the head of the group said she wanted me to speak at a different meeting that she's running. It's an evening meeting, and then she says, depending on how that goes, you can come back and do it here too. So anyway, it was a generous offer, and I'm already now thinking about the talk. And what does that mean for me? It means that I now have a date certain, the 21st of April, I think. Yes, the 21st of April, that I need to have a short version of what will be a longer talk ready. And so this is what it's all about. You create these moments that force you to do the work, do the writing, do the prep, and then, hopefully I'll meet some people who refer me, and, a business opportunity comes from that. At a minimum, I get another chance to practice how I introduce myself, how I engage with these types of groups. And so it's all just super value added experience. Even if I don't join the group, frankly, I might join the group. It's pretty great, but even if I don't, the value is still there. And I would recommend the group to anybody. So, I guess the theme for today is doing things in spite of feelings to the contrary. When you just know that all it is just getting your mind right, getting connected, and then you'll belong. And then the second one is harnessing those opportunities that come your way. When you put yourself out there, you get opportunity. It comes to you. So there we have it. All right, I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you, as always, for listening. I see some likes coming in the last week on Substack for different episodes of the show, and I just want to shout out to anyone who's listening to this. Thank you for doing that. Would love to hear what you liked about it. That would be cool too. I don't monitor the Substack comments super closely. I see them. Frankly, I'm operating pretty much at capacity at the moment. So, but I will get back to them eventually. And so I do appreciate the comments. And as we grow this thing, it's I want this to be a behind the scenes kind of the building of the bigger stage and what the broader lessons are kind of place. That's really where I'm at with it. If you're wondering what I mean by the bigger stage and you haven't been listening, if you go to thebiggerstage.com or you find me, Matt Stone, on LinkedIn, Bigger Stage, you'll see that that's the main business thing. The Bigger Stage is a show, and it's a service package to help operators become icons in their space. And so I'm planning on, ultimately, I'd like to have a book, a talk, the whole bit. And we're in process of doing that. And this little presentation I'm going to be doing in a couple weeks moves me closer to that. So I guess that was the point. And what's your version of that? What is your opportunity that you're going to grab onto that's going to move you closer to where you want to be, whatever that looks like? All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks as always for listening. Be good to yourself and others, and we will check back again with you, hopefully, and I do say hopefully, tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.